I used to run with fire in my chest, believing every road would lead somewhere. The horizon always called my name. Now it's only empty air. I built 1,000 castles in my mind, out of promises too bright to last. Now I'm picking through the pieces, trying not to live inside the past. Every answer slips away like smoke between my hands. I'm still looking for a reason, trying hard to understand. 'Cause I don't know who I've become, but I still believe there's a light beyond the dark, waiting there for me. If hope is just a spark, I'll keep it burning through. Maybe every broken road is leading somewhere new. I don't know what I'm made of, I don't know where I belong, but maybe every heartbeat has been carrying me along. The mirror tells a story I don't know, a face that's older than it ought to be. Every scar became a chapter, every dream another memory. I hear the voices saying let it go, that maybe this is all I'll ever be. But somewhere underneath the silence, there's still a part that's calling me. Even if the night is long, even if I lose my way, maybe all these shattered moments are becoming yesterday. 'Cause I don't know how to begin, but I wanna try. Even if my hands still shake, even if I cry, every step I take is one I've never known. Maybe all this wandering is bringing me back home. I don't know what I'm made of, I don't know where I belong, but maybe I've been stronger than I've realized all along. If the stars can disappear only to return again, maybe I can find myself beyond the places that I've been. If the tide can leave the shore and still come rolling in, maybe losing everything is where a new life begins. I don't need all the answers, I don't need to see the end. Maybe faith is simply learning how to stand again. Now I feel something waking up deep inside my soul, like the dawn before the sunrise, taking back control. Every breath I breathe, every tear I've known was never there to break me, only help me grow. I don't know what tomorrow brings or who I'll finally be, but every broken piece of me is still becoming free. I was never made for perfect, I was never made to hide, I was made to keep on walking with an open heart inside. So if the morning finds me still chasing distant skies, I'll carry every lesson, every truth, every goodbye. I'm not finished growing, I'm not done becoming new. Maybe I was always made to make it through. Cold nights, cold blocks, cold hearts, nothing left to pray for. Sirens sing louder than the choir now. Mama keeps a candle by the window somehow. Picture on the dresser collecting dust. Everybody said have faith. I forgot how concrete raised me with a broken handshake. Every promise came cracked like the glass breaks. Kids playing war cause that's the only game. By 16 half the crew became names. Rain don't wash the blood out the pavement. Just moves it somewhere nobody can face it. Flowers on the curb turn brown in a week. Another mother learns what silence speaks. Sleep with one eye open, both fists closed. Dreams get evicted where survival grows. Heaven feels farther every year I breathe. Like even God forgot this street. Tell me, how many candles does it take before the darkness wins? Put my name on a stone, ain't nobody coming home. All these ghosts know my face, every prayer lost this place. Tell the sky I tried, hope was something that already died. If tomorrow comes, it ain't for me. Flowers don't grow on these streets. Little bro asking why the neighbors cry. I just told them people leave, they don't say goodbye. Couldn't tell them death rents every room. Couldn't tell them hope packed up in June. Empty swings moving with the wind alone, like they're waiting for kids that ain't coming home. Every hoodie got a story stitched inside. Every corner got somebody left behind. Judge hit the gavel like another drum. Another sun disappears, another number comes. News crews filming pain for the evening show. Tomorrow they'll forget what we already know. Mirror says I'm older than my age should be. Every scar introducing itself to me. Started counting funerals instead of years. Now both numbers look the same. Tell me, if the end was written before we learn our names, who do we blame? For my name on a stone, ain't nobody coming home. All these ghosts know my face, every prayer lost its place. Tell the sky I tried, hope was something that already died. If tomorrow comes, it ain't for me. Flowers don't grow on these streets. The city keeps breathing like nothing happened. The buses still run, the store's still open. Somebody laughs 3 blocks away. It's strange how the world never stops to count its day. I'm tired of hearing keep your head high. Hard to see the stars through the smoke-filled sky. Every obituary reads like a friend. Every sunrise feels like another pretend. The reaper don't knock where I come from. He knows every hallway, every loved one. Hope left first, death just stayed behind. Made itself comfortable inside my mind. Nothing left but echoes in the stairwell. Names carved deep where nobody can farewell. City lights flicker like they're losing breath. Maybe they are too. Write my name in the rain, watch it wash away again. No parade, no release, just another headline, missing piece. If there's mercy in this place, if there's heaven, have my face. When the silence finally speaks, maybe flowers will grow somewhere. Just not on this street. Cold night, cold black. The sirens fade, but the echo doesn't.
All right. Well, hello. How is everyone today? Hope you guys can hear me. Welcome to another show. That's something that I think maybe you guys missed. It happened a couple months back. I was going to do a show to review it. I got busy. Some other things were happening. Forgot about it. And it was reminded to me today, none other by Tony Caedo, actually, who was over on CK's channel. Actually, I wonder if I could pull that up. It's kind of like right before he leaves. And Johnson ended up saying a whole bunch of things. But let me start with that. Good morning, everyone. Hope you all had yourselves a lovely weekend so far. Doing a little bit of a early stream here. And the reason I thought about this is because Tony Kaido in the room, and this is kind of the second time he said this, but he wanted to extol me on my debate prowess against Jake in this particular interaction. I guess, you know, he was fairly impressed with what happened here. And I've heard a few people kind of say that, honestly. There were a lot of people that were really kind of raving about this behind the scenes that happened to catch it. Even JP had, you know, really encouraged me to review it or put it up on my channel. Again, I just got busy. So I think there's a good chunk of you that may have missed it. So I am going to pull it up for you. Just give me a couple minutes. After I'm done playing the video, I am going to give you guys the opportunity to join the room, ask questions, make challenges, and if no one really feels up to the task or can't collect their spine, that's totally fine. No big deal. We will deal with that later. But anyway, at one point, I'm not going to go looking for it right now. I can do it afterwards, but I have it saved there. But anyway, so Tony reminded me of this, and that this really was one of the moments that like really impressed him when he saw me argue. And apparently, Tony has seen things that I've said for a hot minute, probably because it was reviewed for the pod and he was kind of hanging around the pod for a while and they had a bit of a falling out, whatever. But Tony's seen some of my stuff. And even when I mentioned if sass, he knew what I was talking about. So Tony's seen some of my things and seen me in passing probably for a good period of time longer than I actually realized. So, but he encouraged and was, I guess you would say, very, appreciative of this exchange and even did want to engage in some sort of maybe collaborative thing or ask me some questions. I said I'd be happy to do so, you know, to understand some components of the Trinity doctrine, particularly its metaphysics. But this was a good example because there was a lot of rhetoric that you generally hear both of these guys, Metaphysics Mike and Jake, the Muslim metaphysician. There's rhetoric that you hear them use in many debates that with me in this room was completely dismantled and fell apart. And I think you'll kind of get to see what I'm talking about. I think I found the correct parts here. The first part of the video starts at 1:55:02. And by the way, while I'm letting this play, I'm going to go update the video to add this link and also the appropriate timestamps as well. But you can actually, YouTube has this great little AI function now on the desktop where you can ask it questions about the video and say, hey, where are the two parts where, you know, Smokey engages with Jake, and it'll pull it right up. But I'm going to add this link to the video so you guys can go watch the original if you want. Let me get this on screen here. There we go. All right. Perfect. So this is the first part where I come in. It's about an hour and 55 minutes in, roughly. And I'm going to play this for you guys so you get the chance to see it. Good morning, Mindy. Good morning, Sammy. Good to see you guys. Lamb Chop. Good to see you. So we're going to play this, and then there's another chunk after this where I come in. I think it's 2:28. Where I kind of have the secondary challenge engagement with Jake. And this whole time, Jake is there. It's late for him. He's kind of tired. I'll say that. And pretty much the entire room was primarily engaging with Mike. So I just kind of took it as an opportunity to kind of focus on Jake because, you know, everyone was asking questions of Mike. And I just didn't want to be the next guy, you know, ignoring Jake. And I've been wanting to have this type of conversation with Jake anyway for a hot minute. So I was excited to actually get the opportunity to do this. I'm glad JP did. I'm glad JP let me know about it too. And texted me, let me know, hey, these guys are coming over. You know, you want to, you know, challenge on Trinity stuff. You know, you get the opportunity. So I came over and yeah, so this happened. So I want to play it for you guys so you can see what occurred between me and Jake, and then we can parse it apart. I'll post the link, and if anyone wants to join, they can and ask questions.
You want me to pull it up?
Well, yeah. Actually, you can.
Let me do that for you.
It's been put on the screen for the viewers.
I got you.
It's Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 10.
Give me a second. As soon as I pull it up, I will get that for you. Jeremiah. What? Jeremiah what? Okay.
Testing and the fruit of it. So
This. Yes, listen, just this will raise up for them a prophet like from among us.
This is what I'll do. So look, let me give you 45
this is why you
seconds,
can't
Mike, to
trust
finish,
AI.
and we'll give facts 45
This is
seconds.
why
No,
you can't
I'm
trust
done.
AI.
Yeah.
I'm
They're
done
like, hey, pull up the part where Smokey's
speaking
talking.
with these
Oh,
guys.
Smokey must
These
be
guys,
facts
and I
only.
don't like his
Smokey
album.
is the guy that JP actually
Then
says,
you're
hey,
good.
Smokey, when
No,
I ask
Otis, go ahead, brother, and do what you got. As long as we're all on the same.
unbelievable. Good job, AI. So you always got to double check.
Or you have to take passages and just. I mean, that's part of. Does the ancient
take the totality of the Old Testament and use
Look at Jake.
that
This
it
is
is
so
a
second.
fair
It's like 2 in the
interpretation
morning,
given
Jake.
that.
He's like exhausted, and no one's
Let's
even
go for
really
it.
like
So
asking.
go ahead,
him
Kai.
Wait, Mike, how'd I do? My dog knows cutlet.
Go ahead.
Because he had like 3 horns.
Why? Second point is the key debate is regarding whether or not the verses of the Quran that mention in each one of these 3 categories, whether or not they should be understood as general as the Christian would want them to be, or whether or not they're specified by a particular context. And what I'm arguing regarding the authority part is, for example, is to say, yeah, they seem so judged are invited to become Muslims and so the previous scriptures.
did he have something to ask me too? I wanted to talk with him before he leaves.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kai,
come
you
on,
have
man. You
anything
know
to
I
add?
have time for you, bro. Come on. People and that you
Well, it must have been way deeper in the episode, apparently.
Not absolute individual or absolute simplicity.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
What?
See, like you see how long I sat there? You see how long I sat there for the opportunity to talk to these guys? I'm sitting there first of all, I was watching when JP was just talking to the guys, right? And then I jump in the room, and I'm granted I didn't jump in the room right away. Like I did, like I waited a little bit, but I was watching this probably. What is this at this point? How long have I been here? I can't even see the numbers down there. They're so small. But at least almost 3 hours in, I'm waiting. And finally get the opportunity to crack in.
Quran that is distinct from.
Let's see, because no one's really asking Jake anything.
Heard you tackle that.
Right, I'm here.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you
So,
for coming.
Yeah, thanks so much for being
having me
here,
on.
man.
And Mike, it was good going back and forth with you a little bit too.
Same.
And yeah, maybe we'll do this again sometime.
Oh, Jake, could I ask one last quick thing since no one else had anything for you? Is that cool?
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, so this might be the after one. I'm gonna have to go here. I'll tell you what. I'll play this one. God, what a mess, man. There were 2 parts in this. I trusted AI to find it. It definitely didn't. So this has just turned into an absolute
Yeah,
mess.
sure. I
don't know if I've ever heard.
Sure.
No, that's cool. No, I know, man.
I
I
should've
know you're
just
tired.
clicked
I
it.
appreciate it. I'm just curious. I don't think I ever heard you really address it. How do you handle kind of that whole dilemma about the Quran being uncreated, but not Allah, and Allah is the only one uncreated, and yet the Quran is.
So yeah, this is the second time I kind of challenge him. So there must be another part earlier I'm missing that I didn't get to yet. I think this is the second time. Yeah, this is the second time I'm addressing him before he leaves. So there's another part earlier. I'll go look for it while I let this play. But this is the secondary part. This is about the idea of, the Quran is, and by the way, Jake should be very careful. I think the things Jake said here right now could be considered the type of thing that gets Muslims very murderously angry at you. In fact, the debate about the whole, oh, hey, Tony, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. No, you're good. No worries. Thanks for stopping it. I did email you, by the way, Tony, to take a look at it. There's actually 2 emails. Pay attention to the second one and don't worry about the first one. But anyway, thank you. Thank you for popping by, man. Yeah, in fact, this is the reason I'm doing this. I'm pulling this up is because you encouraged me about it. And I want to show it to everyone. In fact, I may have to just redo this because I got the wrong timestamps, and now this has just turned messy for no unfortunate reason other than the fact that I trusted AI to do something correctly. But let me play this part for you guys at least. I might have to just go clip it out later or something for those that really want to see it. But this was an interesting part because this does deal with a real challenge that's in Islam that is problematic in reflecting to the Trinity because the Quran is supposed to be uncreated, but Allah is the only uncreated one. So if Allah is the only uncreated one, then how can the Quran also be uncreated but is not Allah? You see, like, and in the Christian Trinitarian sense, that's easily solved because you have the Father and the Son, you have God and the Word, and both are God. You don't have that problem. You can have, you know, the Word of God being God. But for them, it's problematic to have the Word of God being God, even though it's supposedly also uncreated. You get what I'm saying? So, and Jake takes a really dangerous approach where I think he actually does take the position that the Quran is created, which is, I would say, dangerously blasphemous, probably for some Muslims. So he should be careful with that, I think. But this is that engagement. I'll play this and I'll try to go find the other part.
Well, no, I know, man. I know you're tired. I appreciate it. I'm just curious. I don't think I ever heard you really address it. How do you handle kind of that whole dilemma about the Quran being uncreated, but not Allah, and Allah is the only one uncreated, and yet the Quran is also uncreated, but is not Allah? Like, I don't know if I ever heard you tackle that. Do you have an answer to that?
Yeah. So my position, and to be clear, there are different positions within Islamic theology, but what I believe is correct, I'm answering according to that. I believe that the Quran is, first of all, I don't believe it's eternal. I believe it's uncreated in the sense that it's a divine action of God's speech, which he spoke at a moment in time and revealed, we believe, to the angel Gabriel. And I only believe that it's uncreated in the sense that it's an act of his speech, but I don't believe it's a distinct eternal entity that's somewhere like floating around God's throne or something like that. This kind of idea that I don't know where some Christian apologists got this idea from. James White wrote about it in his book, What Every Christian Needs to Know About the Quran. I think maybe he got this idea from Sam Shamoun. I don't really know. But no Muslim believes this. No Muslim believes in an eternal Quran that is distinct from God and is like floating in orbit somewhere. So I don't know if that helps answer your question, or what exactly do you think Muslims believe about the Quran being uncreated?
Well, I believe the idea was like before you have, the Quran, its instantiation in reality, or its revelation, I guess you would say, it always existed. Like the speech of Allah is eternal and yet is not Allah himself. So now we have two co-eternal things. And I'm just seeing if you recognize that seems to be a potential philosophical foreshadowing in your own worldview, that God being multi-personal or not absolute individual or absolute simplicity is really what's going on.
Yeah. So what do you think the eternal Quran would be?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's the speech of Allah, just like in the Christian worldview, the word of Allah.
What does that mean? The speech of Allah?
Well, I mean, ontologically, I don't know. I wouldn't speak for your worldview what that means ontologically, other than it's uncreated, it's eternal with Allah, but isn't Allah. As far as beyond that, I'm not trying to make any.
So our position is that God's attribute of speech is eternal in the sense that he has the ability to speak whenever he wills by his will and his power. The only sense that you could say that the Quran is eternal, and I wouldn't phrase it this way because I think it's confusing, would be that God knows whatever his future actions of speech are, such that the content of the Quran and what he would speak at a later moment in time is eternal within his knowledge. That's the only sense in which you could say the Quran is eternal, in the same way that you could say that him speaking to Moses at the burning bush, or even an idea of me being a creation of God, that God knew that he would create me at a particular moment in time. That's the only sense in which you could say that the Quran is eternal, and that's just within his own knowledge. There's no distinct, separate physical Quran or copy of a Quran that's eternal and uncreated.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about really the stuff that's underneath what's on the pages, like the inspiration of it. And like the thing is, like it kind of sounded like you painted like God as if he has a future, like things he hasn't done yet, like as opposed to the principle of him. So he has potentiality?
For sure.
Oh wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe in a God who is dynamic, who actually, I don't believe in the concept of a God who is in the way that you were saying earlier. And that, it's just so strange for me when Trinitarians have this idea, who believe in the doctrine of the incarnation, who at the same time say that God is completely outside of time. Excuse my French, but whatever the hell that's supposed to mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, God becomes related, or, the word became flesh. Even if you take that in a full Trinitarian sense of this, the second person of the Trinity becoming a man, that's a temporal action that he does and takes place. So I don't believe in a God that's, completely outside of space and time in the way that you can say loosely has been called classical theism.
Yeah.
I don't have this doctrine whatsoever. I have an entire article on my academia page if anyone's interested in my view and what I think the Quran clearly states and what the biblical scriptures clearly state as well. I have a paper called "The God of Aristotle is Not the God of Abraham," and I go through what Aristotle and Plato's view on God was, and this idea of the unmoved mover who's, just only thinking of himself, whatever this is supposed to mean. I don't think that this is what the Bible or the Quran or any of the scriptures portray God to be. I believe that God, he really, for example, he really didn't judge all sinners and send them to hell yet, because judgment day hasn't happened yet, right? So I think that he will do that. He knows everything that he will do in advance, but he hasn't done all of those things yet. So he has potentiality in the sense that there are many things that he has yet to do that he knows he's going to do, but he hasn't done them yet. And I think that that's the straightforward, very simplistic way of understanding what the scriptures teach. And I think all this other, philosophical thought about God being beyond time, in the sense that he doesn't genuinely experience succession in his life and doesn't act in succession. I think this is totally alien to scripture. And I also think it's nonsensical. It doesn't make any sense.
Thank you for that. I'm not going to, you know what? This would be a really, really deep conversation to really dig into. I would say this. I think such an idea does potentially introduce an infinite regress problem. But again, I don't want to drag you into a whole huge thing about this.
If Smokey wanted to have a more extensive conversation with you, how would he be able to go about that?
I mean, if I come back here another time, he can, or I host, although not very frequently, I do host live streams on my channel where I invite people to come on. Okay. But I would, if I could just ask you a quick question.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, so does God know that it's the year 2027 right now?
And to me, it's an incoherent ontological question. Because to me, again, like the reference point is God is outside of time. He's not experiencing time. Time is a physical property. God is non-physical, therefore is not experiencing time. So, like,
does God
in the same way,
facts?
In the same way, well, I'll just finish with this and then ask me the question again. Sorry. So, like, in the sense that, like, the idea or the concept of a tesseract, you know, a fourth dimensional object that is in all states of being at all times at once, like something that is even beyond that to the highest possible dimensional level, beyond all physical space and time, would not be able to, I think, even logically experience time in any linear fashion. In fact, it's nonsensical to even apply it to them, I think.
So does God know? So you cannot answer the question, does God know what time it is right now?
Well, it's just an incoherent question. Because, like, he's the frame of reference outside of time. You're asking a question from our frame of reference, which he doesn't inhabit. So,
Okay,
like,
so
it's
does
just
he
an
know what time it
incoherent
is
question.
for Jake right now?
Does he? Oh, yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay, so then he's still in
But he
time.
knew
in
what
that
time
sense,
it was
'cause he
for Jake
knows-
an hour ago. He knew what time it is
right
for
now, and he knows that it's
Yeah,
not.
but right now is only for you. It's not for him.
No. Okay. So is there any right now for God?
No, he's pure
Okay,
act.
so
There's no
there-
potentiality.
The entailment
time.
of that is that your God doesn't know what time it is right now. Mine does. That's the difference.
I don't. But you're saying right now as if he's shared. See, all you've done is, again, I think you've done.
Yeah, see, and I actually wish I would have approached this like a little bit more of a different angle, kind of like I was talking yesterday. Like, that God experiences, because he's outside of time, everything in kind of like the perfect now. Like, everything is a now to him. So when you say, does God know what time it is right now? Well, really what you're asking to your frame of reference, does he have that propositional understanding? Of course he does. You know, when you're saying now, he knows what time it is for you when you are saying that, where you are seated in that point of the universe in relation to the time that it is even on Alpha Centauri. He's in outside of time and in the perfect now. And what Jake is doing is he's creating an infinite regress problem where now his God is experiencing time in a linear fashion, which means there's an infinite series of points behind where God didn't create. And if that's true, then we wouldn't have a creation. And I can walk anyone down that if they want a deeper understanding and draw some analogies to that. But Jake's worldview is creating a very, very problematic infinite regress situation. And I don't know if he's grasping on to that necessarily. It almost seems like he has an open theist God too. In fact, it was JP that really caught that and said it almost seems like he's open theist. When he messaged me, I'm like, yeah, actually, yeah, kind of. Because now, I mean, how does God know the future? I mean, if he has to, in Jake's view, has to know what time it is right now, the way that Jake seems to be asking it means that God is experiencing time right now the same way he is. Which, again, this is back to that problem again of committing shirk, associating a partner with Allah. You're saying that Allah is in experiential partnership with his creation directly, one-to-one. You're dragging him down to this level, making him operate in a fixated linear time space, which is, to me, if not shirk, it's certainly bordering right on it, associating a partner with Allah. That's also, by the way, the shirk is why they have a problem with the Quran doctrine too. Because when you say something is equivalent to Allah, but isn't Allah, well, now you're in danger of committing the shirk thing too, which is why it's hard to kind of defend that Quran situation, you know, because you can't have, you know, Allah has to be the only uncreated thing. And now you have two uncreated things, you know, that are not each other. There is distinctiveness there. And that kind of explains the Trinity, even in their own worldview. They have a hard time dealing with that. Now, Jake kind of devolves into this weird kind of linear God infinite regress thing. So that was an interesting part.
Shirk again. Because now you've made God inhabit the same time space as you to experience. I think
see, oh my gosh, I forgot I even said that. I forgot I even said that. Apparently I said the thing I just now said here. Apparently I did respond. See how long it's been. I completely forgot.
Right now for God.
No, it's pure act.
So
there's no potentiality.
The entailment of that is that your God doesn't know what time it is right now. Mine does. That's the difference.
I don't. But you're saying right now as if he's shared. See, all you've done is, again, I think you've done shirk again. Because now you've made God inhabit the same time space as you, to experience time as you, to delineate the time that you're experiencing right now. You're actually dragging him into your frame of reference.
No, what I'm doing is I think that God is omniscient. And if God is omniscient, he knows temporal facts because temporal facts exist. And so if God knows, if God is omniscient, then he would have to know temporal facts because they exist. And therefore he would have to know what time it is right now. And if he doesn't, then he's not omniscient.
Okay, well, he would know. I don't know what I mean. Like from your frame of reference of what time it is for you, would he know that? Yes. I'm not seeing
But
where
if
this
he knows, if he knows that it's the year 2025 for Jake right now, that means he doesn't know that it's the year 2026 for 2026. If he doesn't know that it's the year 2027 for Jake right now, that means that when it becomes the year 2027,
See, no one says that. No one says, see how he added for Jake? How did God not know what time it is for Jake right now? Of course he does. He sees all points in absolute perfect objective perception. All points at any point in time, including when you begin stating the sentence and ending the sentence with the word now. He knows what time that is for you. See, that's where he crippled himself, because he said, for me, for Jake. Yes, of course he knows that, because again, he would know that as a proposition based upon your specific location in his creation, in the time space that you're inhabiting, what time it is for you. Tying God to a linear time state along with you in order to know what time it is for you now. Again, for you, your perspective, your frame of reference, not his. See, so it falls apart even right there while he's trying to defend it. It ends up falling apart.
for Jake, he will
For
know
Jake.
that. And
See,
therefore, when it
he
becomes
says that
the year 2027 for
his
Jake right
frame of
now,
reference.
that means that when it becomes the year 2027 for Jake, he will know that. And therefore,
For Jake.
his knowledge is changing from knowing
No.
what year it is for Jake right now, 2020.
No, he possesses the knowledge of all of those states at once. There's no progression for him. There's no learning. See, again, this is really creating an infinite regress, open theist, bizarre situation. I don't know what type of deity this is. It doesn't sound a lot like Allah. It seems like really Jake is selling out a lot of key immutable attributes of Allah to defend what he thinks is Allah. This is getting real weird. I haven't really heard this type of stuff from Muslims in the past. We got this weird, like God is in reality experiencing linear time. Probably he's made of something. You know, he's got the feet and the shin and the arm or something, two arms on one side or something. Some weird, grotesque, monstrous looking deity of some kind. But it describes, their Allah with physical attributes. Just is what it is. And so Jake, I think, is trying to reconcile that by now. He's just making God, I don't know, I guess just another creature, just another creature experiencing time space the way as the rest of us. So, hey, Smokey, I need 5 subscribers to be able to go live on YouTube. Okay, well, if there's anyone here, help Pi out maybe a little bit. Go on over to his channel there at Pi 3.1 and throw him a sub. I don't know if I'm subscribed to you, Pi. Let me double check. You guys go over there and give him some subs so that he can finally go live. Well, I think it's like 100 and you can go live. I think that's what it is, unless they changed it. 3.1. Is that going to be you? Yep, there you are. Oh, is it 50 now? They must have lowered it to 50. I remember it used to be like 100 or something before you could go live or something like that. I think I went live with 0 subscribers. That was years ago. I was able to do that. I am subscribed to you, Pi. So, yeah, I'm one of the 45 already. So you guys want to help out Pi? Maybe tag everyone in the Discord too and ask them there. I need permission for that if you want to. Said 50. Thanks, man. It said 50. Okay, good. All right. Well, good. Well, there we go. All right. Looks like we already nailed it. Outstanding. Good stuff. Thank you, guys. Thank you for helping Pi out there. That's good. Now he's going to be able to do a live. Outstanding. Okay. So, yeah. So this is what I'm seeing. Jake is falling into a very representing a very bizarre kind of deity, different than what I'm usually aware of when any type of metaphysician is talking about God. This is a very there are lots of entailments and traps in this that are very bizarre to me that he's kind of confidently speaking on. But that'll beg more
26 to when it becomes
later.
2027.
By the way, I did find the other timestamp for where I come in. It was actually a bit earlier. It's like 1 hour, 35 minutes, and we'll go back to that.
That means that when it becomes the year 2027 for Jake,
Jake,
he will know that. And therefore, his knowledge is changing from knowing what year it is for Jake.
No, he knows that now. He in the perfect now. Like there's no progress there's no future. See, this is so weird because he's like, well, it's like he's painting it where there's a future for God, which is weird. That's very weird. That creates so many problems that there's a future for God. And also then a future for God that he doesn't know yet. Like, what is Jake even arguing? That God's not going to know until it happens? That's open theism. That's just straight open theism. That's just God doesn't know the future. And now what's the point of prophecy? It's just an educated guess. It's not because he actually knows. Maybe that helps bail out Muhammad being a shitty prophet because, you know, Allah just doesn't really know the future. He's just kind of taking a guess. Maybe that's why Muhammad was so bad at it. I don't know, right? Weird, dude. Some weird stuff. This is some weird stuff. Seriously weird stuff.
Right now, 2026 to when it becomes 2027.
I think I'm off.
And that paradox also applies to the whole.
Yeah, but he's painting it. Oh my God! And now Mike's actually going to agree with it. That's unbelievable. So you have him experience time where he doesn't actually possess the knowledge until the moment it's happening. So yeah, in Jake's view, yeah, God's knowledge is perpetually changing. God is learning things. Holy shit. Fuck reality, fuck God. God is learning shit? Really? No, come on, man. We gotta be better than this, right? This is metaphysics. This is the tip top of the Muslim metaphysician world here. Are you guys even listening to this? That's radical, dude. I forgot how bad this actually was for Jake. I must have been a little tired too. I forgot how terrible this actually was.
2026 to when it becomes 2027.
I think I'm off.
And that paradox also applies to the whole, right? Because if time is created, then God existed before time, but before is a temporal relation. It's just incoherent.
But again, it's the reference point to time itself, which is temporal. So again, when you're talking about before in that reference, you're not talking about the before at God's level, as if God has a before future. You're talking about the temporal level. It's the same thing with Jake. Like Jake's talking at a temporal level.
Yeah, but before and after is never necessarily temporal. Therefore,
this is so tough. Here's the problem. They actually can't get their minds around it. This is actually the problem. They can't actually get their minds around it. They really don't understand what they're actually saying. They cannot associate or get their brains around the idea of God's experiential, non-temporal relationship to a temporal reality. They just cannot get their brains around it. So they keep collapsing into making God temporal or reality eternal. They keep collapsing into these critical metaphysical errors because they cannot discern or associate the categories.
that's why I said to you earlier, unless you believe that Jesus or the Son eternally possessed a human body, which you don't believe, he went from not possessing the human body to possessing it. And therefore, he experienced a succession in his life, going from not possessing the human nature to possessing a human nature.
Yeah, but that doesn't change his base nature. Like if I add one to it.
I'm not talking about changing anything. You can view it whatever you want. Okay. All I'm saying is he experiences succession. He goes from knowing that he doesn't possess a human nature to knowing that he does possess a human nature.
Okay, well but that has nothing to do with ontological immutability.
That
Like
has to
I don't
do
know
with
what
the
that
fact
has
that
to.
he experiences succession in his life, and he goes from one moment to the next, and his knowledge reflects the state of affairs.
Yeah, but then that's just adding to the infinite. That's not, again, there's
Wow.
never any negation to the.
Wow, God is learning, folks. Here you go. You heard it from Jake. You can just take this with you. Allah is learning. Allah don't know shit till shit happens. That's what Jake is defending. Allah don't know shit till shit happens. Wow, because Allah has to know what time it is for Jake right now. So Allah has to be experiencing time the way that Jake's experiencing time. So Allah can know what time it is right now, because if Allah don't know what time it is right now, then Allah ain't Allah. Wow. Wow. That's got to blow your minds a little bit, right? What is this God? What in the world is this God that Jake is defending right now? What is this? I'm so confused.
If I had infinity plus one is what? Infinity.
Sorry?
Infinity
Hold on,
plus
let me
one is
address
what?
this real quick. Let me address this. This kind of language is not allowed on the channel. So I'm gonna have to figure this out.
All right. Anyway, Jake, if you ever come back, man, we'll dig into some of this.
Right. If you add one to infinity, you just still have infinity. Infinity is infinity. Okay. God is not less by taking on or adding a human nature. There is no alteration to the necessary ontological characteristics. There's no changing in their immutability, their access, nor their presence of being there. None of that has to be altered. You don't change it. You're not going to alter infinity by adding one. You're not going to alter infinity by adding a whole nother infinity. It's still infinity. Just is. So it's not a change or a subtraction the way that Jake is trying to present it, like something is removed because you're adding something to it. That just doesn't connect. It doesn't make sense to me.
This other stuff too, because I really think you're interesting and you do think deeply about this stuff. I appreciate your time.
Okay.
I don't
I'd be happy to come on another time and discuss God and time, because
that's cool.
that's actually,
yeah, that's an interesting
Yeah, we
topic.
besides the Trinity, it's
Actually,
probably my favorite topic.
All right, that's cool. No, we can even do that. I'll even brush up on some stuff about that.
Sure.
So yeah, totally. No, that's cool. I appreciate your time, man.
Sure,
Really,
yeah,
I do.
I mean, if you
That's
want,
crazy
there's
stuff,
a
man.
book I got here. Let me just grab it real quick.
It's like open theist stuff.
Second.
Oh, key drop.
So, although I don't agree with everything in the book, this is by R.T. Mullins, who was actually one of the professors in my master's program.
That's a
It's
good
called
point.
From Divine Time Maker to Divine.
That's a good point. Jake's God can become more knowledgeable. I know. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy. Though in the whole principle, like the idea of God, I think even in Islam, is supposed to be that, like, where he's like all knowing. Isn't that kind of part of the thing? All know, like, he doesn't know everything yet. He's not going to know it until it happens. It's just open theism. This is weird.
Watchmaker. And I think he has a lot of
This is very
insightful
weird.
thoughts in this
This is a
book.
weird
He
conversation.
also mentions me in a footnote in a passage that I helped him out with some Islamic sources.
This
So,
is a super
Cool.
All right.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate your time and engagement, man. Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you.
Sure, no problem. All right, I'm gonna
Jake,
head
do you
off.
have a
guys.
second?
It's been real and it's been fun. Hasn't been real fun, but yeah, I'll see you guys
I
again.
can't believe
next time.
Mike is agreeing.
Hey,
with
Jake.
me.
All right, take care.
Take care.
JP,
Yo,
I can't believe
Yeah,
Mike is actually.
can I ask you a question? You address it whenever you have a chance.
real
Okay, let me go back to the 135 thing. See if I can find it here. Oh my God, the numbers are so small over there. Okay, that's 101. Right about here, I think. Is this it?
There is no analogy, like, because I'm being
sense, or him the Father. Argument is with the really distinction.
sorry.
Jesus said, "Because there's one." with beinghood. What's the difference with person and being?
Maybe
Have
not.
a huge. Yeah. So, but they
So
would
we're
say,
we're all co-eternal with the Father, according to them, as far as I'm.
but because we know that we're more. And then
Sure, yeah, I'm not saying you guys are one and the same. That the
Existed where the Son did not, and so I piece all that.
What I feel like. Oh, sorry. Does it sound better?
Yeah, it just sounds a little odd.
So being called God doesn't get you to the Most High God. That's the first thing. And if it was, then it should be everywhere. Just like him, the one that's eating.
Us too.
And in the end,
Fair question. I'm going to get there. You'll totally see it. Okay, so who's the light of the world in this passage?
well, Jesus calls himself the light of the world.
Yeah, Jesus, right? Jesus is the light of the world. Okay, and here in Matthew 5:14, he says, "You are the light of the world." Okay, who's the light of the world in this passage?
Well, he's referring to his disciples.
Correct. Okay, so just because two persons share a title doesn't make them the same being. So when
No,
Jesus is called, when he says, "I am the Alpha and the Omega," that is just a title.
Hold on now, Mike. What makes them the light of the world? Isn't it Jesus in them, working through them? Like a similar relational dynamic between the Father and the Son, in each other? Is this not part of the idea, the corollary therein? Maybe this is actually destroying your point more than anything. What makes the disciples the light of the world? Well, it's Jesus in them, that sense of absolute unity. And then Jesus is claiming to be the light of the world as the Father is the light of the world. And then there is also that unity. So it's actually, Mike, the opposite of the way that you're exegeting it.
Which can be shared by Yahweh's designated
both-
representative. Also,
No, but hold on. Just give me.
also the title Yahweh, or excuse me, the title Alpha and Omega is a Hebrew idiom for the whole of something. It's just like beginning and the end.
Yes, that's all. Is there
These
like you're
to prove that to you already with the light of the world example.
okay? So I ask you this question. So how, when Jesus says that the
I'm
disciples
gonna give you
are
guys
the light
a
of the
couple
world,
minutes so you guys can carry on this conversation. 2 more minutes.
So
Go ahead, carry on.
so Jesus. So what does it mean when Jesus calls the disciples the light of the world, and what does it mean for Jesus to call himself the Alpha and Omega?
Okay, so for Jesus to be the light of the world, this is a
No.
metaphor.
When Jesus said that of the disciples, what did he mean for them?
Okay, so they are being called out into the world to spread the gospel, the good news, the coming kingdom, to call people to repentance and faith. That is being compared metaphorically to light. Okay, so
light.
they are
So
the
they're
light
gonna
of the world.
bring light in a in the dark world.
What makes them the light of the world? Working in unity with the Son. Oh, just like kind of the light of the world works in unity with the Father and the Son. Oh my goodness, it looks like the relational example is absolutely coherent and not what Mike is saying it is.
World, right?
Okay, but
Because
you gotta let me finish. It's a metaphor. They're not actually light. Okay, in the same
No
way,
shit. No one's arguing
neither
that.
is Jesus or God literally the first and last letter of something. Neither do they have a beginning and an end, right? Even in your view. So again, I've asked you, how do you prove that gets you to the same being? That's what you have to demonstrate.
But I'm trying to get you.
I remember what being means, because he'll be even just kind of dishonest the way he uses the word being. Being just means existence, existing. Just being. You're talking about like one being. You're talking about one existence. That one existence is triune. That's expected. There's nothing wrong with that. The one being is triune. What is wrong with that? There's no contradiction. Name the contradiction. The one ultimate being, the one ultimate existence is a triune being. What is wrong with that? Why cannot not be one in unity? So you're not even going to use being appropriately. they make the problem. I'm going to call Jake out on this too. You'll see it here in a few minutes when I pipe in. The perverse usage, the perverse comparison of colloquial language with metaphysical language. You gotta pay attention. I'm telling you, you guys really need to sharpen up. Most of you so-called Christians out there and Trinity believers, let me be real clear. You guys got to sharpen up your game because you're not catching the little slimy, shitty tactics your adversaries are pulling on you. You're not catching it all the time. And they're crippling themselves in their own proof text, and most of you aren't catching it. If only I could have chimed in here. Yeah, it wasn't my question to ask. It wasn't my debate. It wasn't my one. But only if I could. If only I was hosting this room even. But no. And these guys don't, I mean, I've been challenging Mike and Jake for a hot minute. I have to wait for opportunities like this to kind of emerge. And that's fine. I'm glad it did. But, this is just nonsense. Half the time what they're bringing up or trying to prove is against them. And this is one of those perfect examples.
You to explain. That's why I'm asking those questions for a reason, right?
That doesn't help anything.
What does he mean? So I asked you, so you said what it meant for Jesus to call the disciples the light of the world, right? They're light, they're going to bring light in their dark world through the gospel, yada, yada, right? Okay, what does Jesus mean? And what does Yahweh mean when he says that he is Alpha and Omega? What does that mean?
So I already told you this. I just told you. So
no, I'm just asking you what it means.
Yeah. So what it means is that Jesus is the whole of the coming of the new covenant, the new kingdom, about forgiveness of sins. Okay. So this, first off, the first verse tells you that the revelation that Jesus Christ is going to give you, he got it from God. It says, which God gave him. Okay, now let's clear up a few things here, though. So,
okay, this is gonna ramble.
Jesus 1:8. It's when I'm.
I think you guys would laugh me off the stage and say there's something wrong with Jake Dean. If I said that one man already read well, yeah, and human analogy between
be a good example, yeah.
I guess is it right around here.
Therefore, marrying the nature.
Okay.
I think that could also just be to the Father, and even if it's Jesus, they can share a title that doesn't make them the same being.
Thank you for that. That was 30 seconds. JCW, if you want.
It not only does, yes, it does. Do you share the title of God? Then yes, you are the one being, the one existence that happens to be triune. There's no contradiction here. There's no problem. You don't need to have three beings because of three persons. There's nothing in metaphysics that requires that. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to even demand that as some sort of necessary conclusion. You can absolutely have one triune being. There is nothing wrong with that at all.
I'm going to run it back eventually again. Stay on. Mike might stay on a little longer, but we got to get to the other brothers. All right, Smokey, you wanted to ask Jake something.
I'll let this.
Jake, are you open to doing just things on the topic of the stream, or are you okay with people asking you questions regarding Islam? It's up to you. You're my guest.
Oh, no, they could ask me whatever they want.
All right, Smokey, so go ahead.
Cool, thank you. And thank you, Jake, for sticking it out, man. You're a champ. Appreciate you sticking around. That's awesome. So one thing I kind of wanted to question, because I kind of noticed it for a while, and I've been watching you kind of debate some of these metaphysical, arguments against the Trinity and stuff, but I kind of noticed something I think is a bit of a problem in the meta. And I know that in Islam, Allah is like no other. There's nothing like him. There's no way you can look at anything in reality and point at and say that's just like Allah. And in fact, it seems to be the unforgivable sin to attempt to marry, any partner to him or give any equivalence, to him, the unforgivable sin of shirk. And it seems like when you're dissecting the problem of the Trinity, you're kind of parsing the nature, the ontology of the ultimate, and the ontology of how personhood would be expressed with the finite ontology of a human. It's like you're dragging him down to the human level to say, well, basically the ontology of a human with personhood gives absolute distinctiveness of being, and therefore that must be the same with Allah, therefore marrying the ontologies together. I was just curious how you saw that.
I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to. Are you talking about when I use the analogy of three human beings?
Yeah, essentially something like that could be a good example. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the reasons why I do that is because it doesn't come from me. It actually comes from Gregory of Nyssa, who's a 4th century church father. And he draws the analogy between human beings and the Trinity. And he says that the argument that he is trying to deal with is, well, if we say that 3 human beings possess the same human nature, and this is something that I think the guy's name was Tyree was bringing up with JP earlier, if 3 human beings possess the same human nature, and yet they're different from each other, and yet we count them as 3 human beings, then why wouldn't it be the case with God? And Gregory's answer to the problem was not to say, well, yeah, there are 3 humans, so there's 3 gods. He actually reasoned in the reverse and said, no, we should correct our language regarding human beings and say that Peter, James, and John, strictly speaking, are only one man. Now, I think that's crazy. I think that's insane, because if I said that Jake, Mike, and JP were one human being, strictly speaking, I think you guys would laugh me off the stage and say there's something wrong with Jake here. So I typically bring up the 3 human being analogy in that context, that there are some church fathers that brought it up. But as JP said earlier, I don't think there's any perfect analogy for the Trinity. And I don't think that that's a problem in and of itself. I just don't see how, if you have the Father and Son, each who are fully God, and they're distinct from each other, then by the normal way in which we would count, they would count as 2 gods. And I just don't see I haven't seen any good explanation or response to that problem.
Well, if I could, I just respond to that real quick, if possible.
Sure.
So in the sense of communicating, when you say like 3 men, you're not saying 3 essences of men. You're still saying one essence. I think this is where there's a little bit of like befuddlement between colloquial, the way we speak, based upon our own ontological positioning, and how we're addressing metaphysics and metaphysical speak. So like when you're talking about 3 gods, you're talking about 3 essences, because you can only have one ultimate. So you have to in some way have a division of essence. You're never talking about that when you're talking about 3 men. You're just communicating. This is just a colloquial way to say 3 persons. So it's to me, it's not equivalent, like even at all. And I think even trying to make that equivalency, saying God must be ruled by these standards, by these rules, is committing the unforgivable sin of shirk.
Well, if you mean by rules, basic counting, if God is beyond the normal way in which we count objects, then I think it becomes meaningless. I mean, I don't even know really what we're talking about at that point. If the Father and Son are each God, we're ascribing the term God to them, and they're distinct. For example, the Father is unbegotten, the Son is begotten of the Father. I just don't see how, by what way are we counting gods that you only get one?
Well, this is why the distinctiveness of ontology is important, because the ontology of a finite is that it's finite. It doesn't have the omni properties, doesn't know all things, doesn't have all power, doesn't have all of that. So the nature of its ability for merger is limited. But when you're talking about the infinite absolute God, even if you do have a multiplicity of persons, you would still, by their ontological nature, have an absolute unity in one being. It's just unavoidable and necessarily entailed.
You're saying that you would have one being, but what do you mean by one being? That there's one essence?
Yes, absolutely. One essence, 3 persons.
Do you think that
why
you and
Yahweh
I have the same human essence?
What's that?
Do you think that you and I share the same
Yes.
human essence?
Yeah, we have the same essence of manness. Yeah.
So what's the relevant difference?
Yeah, I don't think I'm not sure if Jake really caught that per se, and I probably could have said it a little clearer. honestly, but there's a difference between the metaphysical speak and the colloquial speak. And you can see Mike sitting there. Look at Mike. Look at Mike's face right now. Mike's not happy. Mike's not enjoying this. Because Mike uses that kind of defense and that escape hatch many times. Like, well, you got three men, three guys in a room. What do you say? You got three men. You got three guards up there, so it's three guards. Like, so this is collapsing that escape hatch. I've seen him use a few times. You can kind of see the look on his face. Kind of looks almost like he's seeing a ghost. Maybe he's seeing the Holy Ghost right now. But I know Tony pointed this out that, like, you can see the look on Jake's face. He doesn't really seem, all too happy with the point of the conversation. Because again, you can't confuse colloquial expression. Like when you say, hey, there's three men over there, you don't mean there's three essences of men. There's three different, no, they all have one essence. They're just three different persons. And it's the same with God. You can you have one God, you have one essence of God, and you have three persons. There's no problem there. Whenever you say there's three men in the room, you're not talking about three different essences. You're still talking about the same essence, the one essence of manness distributed with three persons. It's just how it works even there. So even in that instance, it's perfectly fine. It gives an adequate comparison. But when you then start associating it down at like the psychological level, like where there's even components of like competing will and a lack of unity and synergy, you're now violating, the very core immutable nature of the very thing you claim to be defending. You're violating it and filtering it out and killing it, instead of allowing it its ontological representation of being triune and therefore one being in one essence. There's nothing wrong with that. And Jake and Mike, yeah, definitely both have a problem with this point of argument.
Well, because we are ontologically finite by having the ontology of a human. God has the ontology of God. So he has the omni properties. So even if he has a multi-personal being, that still, by necessity of having all the omni properties, means he would have perfect unity and synergy, as in constituting one.
Therefore, constituting oneness. Yeah, I love this. I wish I would have cleaned it up a little bit. I wasn't really 100% prepped to go in here, to be honest with you. Wasn't really sure what I was going to talk about, but I had a couple things brewing in my mind. I wish I would have communicated this a little cleaner, on point with some of this, but I do like.
Yeah, we have the same essence of manness. Yeah.
So what's the relevant
humanness? Well, because we are ontologically finite by having the ontology of a human. God has the ontology of God. So he has the omni properties. So even if he has a multi-personal being, that still, by necessity of having all the omni properties, means he would have perfect unity and synergy, as in constituting one being of existence, one ultimate, with three persons.
Okay, but do you accept the Nicene?
Look at Mike's face. Mike's just, what? Tony was right. Mike's sitting there just happy that I'm not picking on him. Mike was fine, jumping in at lots of points earlier, and he's kind of like, he's just sitting there kind of staring forward. I think he's happy that this is Jake in the hot seat here with this one for sure. I think. This is not looking good, guys. This is not looking good for my chance to be able to secure a debate with Mike over here. It's not.
Properties means he would have perfect unity and synergy, as in constituting one being of existence, one ultimate, with three persons.
Okay, but do you accept the Nicene Creed?
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so the Nicene Creed teaches that the Father is unbegotten and the Son is begotten. So if you have one God who's unbegotten, the other who's begotten of him, and the way that it's typically explained is eternally caused to exist, how would that not be two gods? I just don't understand that.
Yeah, well, yeah, and again, because part of the nature of Jesus and that shared ontology is uncreated. So the begotten isn't about a genesis or a starting point. And by the way, God outside of time, such a thing is impossible anyway. So, God is purus actus, so he's, pure act. He is always in this eternal state of affairs. The nature or the economy or the progression.
I don't believe that, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, the economy and the nature and the progression of it is a distinctive category from what his ontology actually is.
Okay. Do you think that Jesus eternally possessed a human body?
No, I would hold more to like an orthodox concept of like energy essence distinction. So
okay, so do you think that God became at a point in time that the Son actually took on flesh?
Took on a human nature, sure, that's fine.
Right. So how is that not a change?
Because there's no alteration to the original ontology. There's just an additional one. Like if I'm not necessarily changing or erasing the nature of a thing just by adding to it, or adding on top of it, or giving it an experience. Like it still doesn't change, negate, or alter the original ontology. The ontology is still intact, even if its expression is limited or manifested through another ontological addition. It still maintains all of its own potency and nature.
I mean, if the Son goes from not being related to a human body to being related to a human body, I don't understand how that's not a positive change.
Well, because adding doesn't negate the thing you're adding to it. You're not erasing the thing you're adding to it by adding to it. It's just an addition. You're just taking on an extra component, an extra ontology.
Right, but it shows that there's succession in the Son's life. Right, he goes from knowing that
has nothing to do with the change of someone's ontology,
knowing that he does.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with the change of ontology.
Weird that he's even saying that. Isn't he arguing later that God learns things as he goes? Like he doesn't know like the thing happening until it actually happens. And now he's using the opposite of that, which he'll use later to defend his position to try and attack mine. Do you see how dishonest that is? Listen to this. He's the very thing he believes about God, about that progression of knowledge. He's saying, well, you can't believe that, but I do. Like, are you hearing this?
Taking on an extra component, an extra ontology.
Right, but it shows that there's succession in the Son's life. Right, he goes from knowing that
has nothing to do with the change of someone's ontology,
knowing that he does.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with the change of ontology or the nature of a thing. That's just experiential. That's just experiential components.
Right, and I'm saying that means that he's acting in succession. He's literally doing different things at different times, and he has different experiences.
Yeah, but that's not a change in his nature. Like that's not a negation or an alteration of his nature if it's just an addition of one. That's what I would say. I don't want to.
See, that's weird because now he's like making like God is his actions, which is, and I don't know how he addresses it. Like he can't hold the idea of God as pure act because his God has progression. So I don't even know what worldview he's critiquing from right now, actually. Like, I don't know what like it's almost like he's trying to, I don't know, represent the Christian God as his God the way he sees it, but says that we can't have that God. I'm so confused what he's even really arguing.
I get lost in the weeds on this.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I still just don't see how appealing to God's supposed infinity or the uniqueness of his nature or anything like that. I don't see how that rules out the normal way in which we count that the Father and Son are each fully God and they're distinct from each other. Then they would seem to count as two gods. So I would agree with what the guy Tyree, I think his name was saying earlier. But I mean, you could have the last word if you want.
No, I'm good, man. I appreciate your time. Thanks for tackling my question. I'm good. I yield.
Sure, no problem.
So, yeah, there you have it, guys. Again, I think I probably could have cleaned it up and stayed a little more focused on the point a couple times through this where I was at. I wish I would have lasered in on the appropriateness of the essence category. I did present the idea of analogical predication, at least in principle. But I wish I probably would have focused even a little more hyperlinearly on how Jake associates that personhood and essence category with each other. I wish I probably would have laser focused on that a bit more. But then we got into this, does God change when he takes on human nature? And of course not. Ontologically, there is no change. Adding an experiential dynamic does not change the core ontology of what you are. Like Jake is Jake before or after the same. When he got in a car accident, lost his arm, he's still Jake. You know, he would still be Jake if he got his arm augmented with a laser cannon. You know, it added something to it. He would still be Jake. Like the ontological essence of Jake does not change, you know, with an addition. It would have to be something that violates the core essence or alters the core essence or actually removes an ontological property from the core essence. Like there has to be, you get what I'm saying? Like there is an essence category. There's lots of essence categories. You know, the essence category of manness, you know, of birds. You know, you could have the essence category of a son or a father. You know, some of these are essence categories that are denoted via predication instead of just ontological identity, but nonetheless are part of who you are. This is where I would roast Mike's brain with this so bad, because you basically have, and this is because Mike loves doing this. He loves abusing people with this crap where he's like, well, you know, the father's son, is he the son by identity or predication? And he thinks he's got him. He thinks he's got him. And it's sad because none of the Christians know how to appropriately answer, because they're following him down his dishonest pathway of marrying the ontology of three-dimensional men with God himself. So they don't know how to answer. And it's frustrating. You know, it's just, you know, really honestly, Trinitarians, you are going to have to sharpen up your game on some of this, because you have these guys meandering around and they're being dishonest and you're not catching it. You're not catching how they're marrying these identities together and ontologies together. You need to be able to parse it, because that's where a lot of the deception lies. You know, the essence of man is not the same as the essence of God. And if someone's making some type of arguments or comparisons therein of these direct one-to-one equivalencies, you have to be on your toes. You have to notice it. You have to be ready to defend that garbage. Mike is this guy right here in the middle here, and he's won this. There, it's this guy right here. Mike, what is it? Metaphysics Mike. You guys need to be on point, really, because it's getting embarrassing in some of these instances with some of these engagements, because you guys aren't really on your toes metaphysically.
All right.
Anyway, we're going to cut that off. I posted the link. If no one wants to join and ask some questions, I'm just going to shut it down and go do something else. So if you guys want to chat, you're welcome to do so for a couple minutes. I don't really want to keep this going. I just wanted to show this to everyone so you guys could see the interaction. I'll update the video with the link to this later. So if anyone wants to pop in and ask a question, I'll play a song while you guys have a few minutes to decide if you want to come in and have a chat with me. I don't know, let's pick one of these. What the hell is going on here? Let's try this one. All the music is... Andrew, I see you back there. I'll bring it back.
Hey there,
grab a nice
you
tea.
fucking hairless apes. I made you in my image and immediately regretted it. Gave you thumbs, brains, and free will, and you use them to make TikToks of your own asshole. I flooded the earth once, thought that'd teach you, but nah, you're still out here arguing about gender while eating Tide Pods and voting for clowns. I'm omnipotent, not a therapist. This shit's exhausting. I see everything. Every single thing. Your browser history, yeah, that too. Especially the one from last Tuesday. I'm God, bitch! What the fuck were you expecting? You pray for parking spots and winning the lottery, while kids in hospitals get fucked by cancer. Sorry, Dave, I was busy not giving a shit. You're on my little science experiment gone wrong, running around screaming thoughts and prayers. I'm up here eating popcorn, watching the world burn, thinking these morons are hilarious. You built churches, temples, mosques, then used them to hate on each other in my name. I never said go blow up buildings, but sure, twist my words, you illiterate fucks. I gave you sex for fun and babies. You turned it into OnlyFans and crippling shame. Masturbating to cartoon ponies while calling it a kink. I invented the platypus as a joke. You took evolution and made it a debate. Every war, every tweet, every sad little lie, I watch it all in 8K with surround sound. And the best part, you still think I have a plan for you specifically. I'm God, bitch, what the fuck were you expecting? You blame me when shit goes wrong. Thank me when your football team wins. Newsflash, I don't give a flying fuck about your fantasy league. You're all just monkeys with anxiety and Wi-Fi. Finger banging your phones till your thumbs bleed. Then crying when I don't answer your DMs to heaven. Grow the fuck up. I made black holes, quasars in the Grand Canyon, and you're impressed by a dude with 17 million followers who eats bugs on camera for clout. I could smite you all right now, but then who would make me laugh this hard? Your meaning of life is just coping. Your religions are fan fiction. Your purpose, mostly jerking off and doom scrolling. Respect. If this offends you, good, I invented offense. I invented your mom too, and she's disappointed. Every natural disaster comedy, every politician, my drunk dialing, every influencer, performance art for my amusement. And when you die, don't worry, I'll be there, laughing. I'm God, you pathetic sacks of meat. Keep praying, keep sinning, keep being you. You're the worst thing I ever created. And the only thing that keeps eternity from being boring is shit. Now go touch grass. Or don't. I don't care. I'm God, bitch.
Okay, Andrew, you have a question or whatever, or a comment. Go ahead, help yourself.
Oh, jinx. What was I going to say? My brain's probably a bit fried.
That's okay. My brain hasn't been cooking today either. That's why I'm making this iced tea. I'm trying to not do the coffee this week. I'm trying to kind of take the break from the coffee, so I'm relying on some tea. It's working okay, but it's not great. I'll be honest with you. So,
well, if it's iced tea like my youth pastor used to make, yeah, nice.
yeah. So, what's up, buddy? You got any comments or questions?
I was just going to say, in general, Jake kind of tries to get you down rabbit holes, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, you gotta chase these guys down the rabbit hole all the time. Absolutely. Make sure you don't get lost in all the little tunnels they try and create for you. But you got to be clear on a certain metaphysics to tackle these guys, because they get people stumbled up in colloquialisms and incorrect categories and stuff all the time. You really got to be on your toes when you're dealing with guys like this.
Yeah, well, it's
they usually are saying something to prove themselves wrong if you're paying attention.
And oneness is particularly confusing.
Agreed.
So I don't think I'd like to take either of them on in a debate. I'm pretty useless with debates anyway.
Agreed. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. No, I'm glad this happened. I kind of forgot about parts of it, but it was a neat interaction. I'm glad I decided to go back and pull it up so everyone could see it today. So
yeah, well, wasn't Jake the one that had the moderator walk out on the debate recently?
Oh yeah, that was him. Yeah, Raging Tomato had a big old crash out and stormed out of it. Yeah. Didn't work out too well. Yeah.
The usual.
Oh, she's a nut job anyway. I'm not crazy about Sarah. There's a reason I don't even bother trying to go over to her panels. It's just a clown show over there. I'm not interested.
Oh, most of that stuff is a clown show anyway.
Yeah. So I don't bother. I had the chance. I even got invited once to go over there. I'm like, no interest.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's been politics. Lately she's been doing a few more kind of religious topics. I think there was some sort of Trinity talk or something the other day. It was typically politics anyway, which I don't usually talk a lot about. I mean, I will sometimes, but it's not like my jam, you know, the thing I want to focus on. So
Yeah, she also had the other guy on. What's the shake with the
I think
baseball hat?
correct politics are downwind from good morals anyway. So you know what I mean? It's kind of like
Yeah.
if you get the one, you'll kind of get the other anyway, in my view. But whatever, that's just me. So
I don't think you can separate God and politics or Christianity and politics. If you're a Christian, you have to get involved in the politics, because if you don't, the Muslims will take over.
well, yeah, that's true too. That's something you got to worry about.
And then you get Sneeko in New York going, hey, here's New York.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm just up early, got nothing else to do, so I thought I'd see what was going on, because I'm rally around.
Well, I just threw this together last minute because I wanted to show this to people before I completely forgot about it, because Tony had brought it up again today. I'm like, well, might as well play it so anyone that missed it, they have a chance to go back and see it. Because Tony was raving about it. It's like, oh, this is one of the best, you know, Trinity defenses I've seen in a while. And it was good. I'll admit, I think it was good. Covered some decent ground. I wish I would have been more laser focused on a couple points, but overall, I do think it was good.
Well, yeah, it depends on what you focus on, but you know, it's tough trying to be a Christian anyway.
You know, when you finally get the chance to, like, this is the thing too, it's like years going that I wanted to talk with Jake. And then you get in and you're like, oh, I want to mention this and this and this, and your brain's going like a million miles a minute, and then you're like called on, you're like, oh God, I gotta pick something, what am I gonna choose? And so you just pick something and start running with it. And then something else comes up as you're talking, and then you're talking about that. It's hard to keep the laser focus on the points, you know, because they want to drag you everywhere too. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah. They drag you in.
So, but anyway,
I mean, in Australia, there were several people who came out on the boats. They became Christians, and most of them have wandered away again.
Does happen, you know.
Yeah,
that's why all that talk about, you know, the abiding and the staying in and the keeping with and all this language and all the ifs and the, you know, and all these things. I mean, the whole Bible is so anti-OSAS. I don't know how anyone gets away with believing it at this point.
Well, of course it is. A new name can be blotted out of the book of life too.
Yeah. Don't worry about things like that. So. I mean, they're only hurting themselves. That's the sad thing. It's almost why I almost don't like. Maybe I'm less loving or something, but I don't care as much anymore, because I realize that when they're adopting it, they're usually doing it for very emotional, personal reasons, and also like they're only hurting themselves. Like really, they're not hurting. I mean, other than people maybe they teach it to, then probably they're hurting them too. But in general, like holding this doctrine and living it, like they're really just hurting themselves for the most part, you know?
Yeah, and I'm still trying to understand what labels I tick.
Yeah.
I mean, Christian, definitely.
Well,
oneness, definitely not.
Yeah.
Calvin, well, depends. I think he's right on some points, but wrong on others, and I think everybody's wrong on other points.
Yeah, I've been going in on the Calvinist lately.
I mean, I just finished a book called The Air We Breathe, which is what I got from a conference we had from my church.
Oh, cool. Okay.
By a guy called Glenn Scrivener, who came up from the UK, and there was a guy, Luke Barnes, came up from Sydney, and my buddy Dan put on the conference for the church. So it was the first apologetics conference I ever went to.
Right.
So to speak. And even in that book, he tries to refer to George Floyd and compare him to Martin Luther King.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, right. Yeah, sure.
He obviously hasn't seen the crime that George Floyd was committing whilst he was doing that, and focused on the I can't breathe.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, no, they don't focus on any of the leading up factors. I had oh my gosh, I had an ancient meme. I don't know if I still have it in here. Oh my god, if I do. Hold on. Do I still have this meme in here? Oh my god, I think I do. Is this it? Oh yeah, that's so I still have that in here. There was another one I had that was actually worse. I don't think I have it in here anymore. Yeah, there was one that was actually even way worse than that. Yeah, no, I don't think that must have gotten rid of that. Yeah, that's
That's a funny one. That's that, and the payout figure, that was amazing.
There was another guy. There was one meme I saw where it was a George Floyd mural, but it was a mural of him holding the gun to his pregnant wife's stomach, because apparently that was one of the things like he did that he got arrested for, like in the past. Like he was actually holding a gun, like threatening holding a gun to his pregnant wife's stomach, and like so they like did a mural picture of him doing that. It was bad. I don't know what happened to that meme. It's probably on my machine somewhere, but that one was really bad.
That's crossing too many boundaries.
Yeah,
that's not even tasteful.
Yeah, that was rough.
And then of course you get the guy who actually picked up the fake banknote was a black youth.
Yeah.
And that was but of course that footage was released way too late.
Yeah, pretty wild.
They should have released that footage long before that. But anyway, those are the issues I have. I mean, you know, you get challenged, but you get stretched, I guess.
I mean, I guess, yeah. I don't even know what to think about any of it anymore. I mean, you don't want to like believe that pretty much, so much of Western Christianity is so wrong. But then what are you going to do? Are you going to agree with garbage arguments and like take people's weird interpretations of the book that doesn't say anything like what they say? Like, what are you going to do? Like,
yeah, when are you going to stop?
Have to have a little bit of humility and just hope there's something out there helping you out,
When are you going to stop being the person at the front door you named Matt?
Yeah, I get you.
And be walked all over. That's what people do to me in my experience. So I just kind of let them walk all over me.
Well, hope you don't get any of that in our group. I mean, but whatever. Yeah, no, I hate that happens to you, Andrew, too, especially since I think you do try so hard. But, that's reality. That's part of what you go through. And supposedly you're going to get rewarded for it or whatever. So,
Well, nobody can tell you what the rewards are either.
Nope. No, they cannot. That is true.
If they could specify, I don't think they'd be considered rewards.
Yeah. No, I think you're right.
We're supposed to consider it joy.
That is also true. Yeah, what even is the reward that they're so worried about all this spiritual stuff they want to get?
And it's like whatever. God handicaps the race so that there's more than one winner.
Yeah.
I mean,
I threw this together way too last minute, by the way. But whatever, people will see it if they're interested.
Yeah. I just wish we'd be able to talk about those things a little bit more.
Well, start bringing them up more then.
I try. I've got to work. I've got to pay. I've got to do my rent. All that stuff.
Yeah, that's all you got to do, man. That's all you can do. Just try.
Yep.
So,
yep.
I'm disenfranchised with all of the West in terms of its practice of religion. Honestly, in pretty much any iteration, I'm very disenfranchised with it anymore. And I don't want to be associated with it, even, to be honest with you. I don't want people looking at me and being like, that guy over there, he's a Christian. I don't want that label anymore. Because I know what that could entail and what that means anymore. It's not going to be me, and I don't want it. I don't want that.
That means you're a killjoy of some description.
And then they all want to talk to me. What do you believe? What do you believe about Jesus? What do you believe about the resurrection? What fucking business is it of you anyway? What the hell I believe about?
Exactly. That's personal.
But they all got to know, and they all got to question. They all got to ask, because it's all just this team sports garbage. Oh, are you on my team or not? Who are you playing for? Yeah, fuck off. I don't.
Yeah, it's
this nonsense.
It's like these people, My landlords go to a Baptist church. There's Anglican church, and they had a couple that left their church and went to a different church, and their concern is they're going to be claiming them as Baptists because they go to a Baptist church now.
Right. I love how Brandon Irish doesn't want us to believe the vivid 3D video of Charlie Kirk getting shot and killed. He doesn't want us to believe that Charlie Kirk is actually dead, but he wants us to believe 2,000-year-old anonymous testimonies that some Jew died on a cross and rose again. This is the type of dumb trash, that is representative in Christianity. And I don't want any part of it, honestly. Don't you dare say I'm part of your bullshit team, no matter what you see me arguing or what you think I believe. I'm not on your team. Let's be real clear about that. I'm not on your team, and I'm not going to be on your team. So stop thinking I am.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm on God's team, but that's about it.
Yeah. For sure.
And if God has saved me, then great. And if I am defending this the best that I can with the tools I've got,
yeah,
doing the best that I can with what I've got. Anyway,
I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate it, man. I hope you have yourself a good
I just thought I'd see what's coming on.
I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you for stopping in, man. It's good to see you hanging around. I appreciate you. I hope you have a good day.
Ciao.
Take care, bud. All right, guys. I'm going to wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll leave this kind of one a little bit shorter so that you guys have the opportunity to just review this and see that little interaction with Jake and take some of those ideas. And if you ever want to ask me about it, just join one of the shows. And you can ask me about anything was said there. I wish I would have been slightly more focused on a couple of the points, but I was trying to answer from multiple different metaphysical levels and angles, also kind of preempting some of their ideas. So I wish I would have been a little more laser focused on a couple of those ideas, especially the distinction of essence and person, and really kind of nailed that down even a little bit more, even in its relationship to being. And also God's relationship to reality. But it's a lot to cover. That is a lot of metaphysical ground to cover. And you're having to start from the ground up with a lot of these guys because you don't really share the same metaphysical foundation. So you got to start from like brick one sometimes. And then there's a lot to work through and build off of that. So, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Tony was raving about it. He thought it was great. I hope you guys are able to learn something from it, get something out of it. And really, honestly, if you guys are in that type of doctrine, that view, especially the Trinitarian camp, you guys got to really sharpen up your game because you need to be able to catch when they're being conversationally dishonest with you if you really want to be able to adequately defend this type of view. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. Take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful day, and we'll catch you on the next one. Happy Sunday to all.